Good morning here from the town of
Zgorzelec.
Yeah, I cannot pronounce it. And we are leaving our house now towards something special because we are going to have breakfast in a restaurant chain we have in Denmark, but they don't offer breakfast. So yeah, let's head forward and get some breakfast before we are going to explore the city of Görlitz. And we might even go for a little dip in the lake around here, but we'll see what the day brings. Yes, so it was at McDonald's. Breakfast at McDonald's because in Denmark they have discontinued breakfast. It is something to do with it being easier for the employees, but nevertheless, I like the breakfast at McDonald's. It is one of the few things I like from McDonald's. And yes, then we took it in Poland, and in the coming days we will be taking breakfast at McDonald's in Germany because we have to see if there's a difference. There was a local adaptation here of the Egg McMuffin with cream cheese and radishes. If you have it in your country, please comment down below. But let's head for some shopping before we are exploring Görlitz. So a little shopping trip later and a new backpack. This one is going to be tested out because my last one from Gypsy Guy lasted entirely one day and then I had to throw it out. Can this last longer? It's a 60 zloty backpack, which is, well, I will write it in euros and dollars over here. But let's see if it holds longer. One day is the target. And then it's better than my attempt at getting a promo code for you guys to something cheap and yet good, which was Gypsy Guy with 1 day. So before we head off to look at the sights of Görlitz, let's just talk about shopping in Poland, because is it cheap? Well, I compare it to Danish prices and Swedish prices. So because I am from Denmark and I travel a lot in Scandinavia, so I know a bit about the prices in the Scandinavian area. And yes, it is cheap to a degree. Some things are actually more expensive. For example, in electronics, I can buy things cheaper in Denmark than down here. But if you look at clothes, cheap backpacks, shoes, even branded shoes, yes, it's cheaper. Food, cheaper. But electronics and certain luxury items are not that cheap. So you have to look an extra time at the price tag because, well, even compared to Germany, some of the clothing items and so on are cheap. So if you're traveling to Poland, remember to, well, look at the price tag. But let's head for Germany now. So I like this concept that you can purchase seeds to, well, feed to the dogs because they don't like bread, they don't like peanuts, they don't stomach it all too well. And it is only 2 zloty, so it's nothing. The only thing is, I don't know which ducks they're talking about because when I look all over there, I find no ducks at all. Not one single duck. So if you can see a duck in my picture there, please comment down below because I can't see it and I'm standing here. So finally we are back in Germany and we are headed up to see the first site in Görlitz. What Görlitz is most known for is actually its well-preserved old buildings, and I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the camera all the time. I also have to look at where I'm going. But basically, this is the closest thing you will come to a proper medieval preserved town. Or maybe Renaissance. We'll see as we explore the city, but it should be the best preserved in the most of Germany. And it sure is uphill from the river Oder, which runs straight through the city and splits up the city into two, a German and a Polish side. Polish, must be, not Polish. But let's move up and look at the church, which is situated right next to the river. Just up a little hill first. So the church here in Görlitz, the St. Peter and Paul's Peterskirche, that one. Well, I'm sorry about the pictures I'm going to show you, but they take well, an extra amount if you want to take pictures in there, and I'm all for the budget option, so some sneaky pictures from in there while I tell you a bit about the church and why you should visit it. The St. Peter and Paul's Church was built in 1730, but the parish is mentioned as far back as 1239, so it's an old parish, which also means it's an old city we're walking in, so that leaves room for contemplation, and the church room is big and great for contemplation, and I warmly recommend that you come by and visit this one-of-a-kind Catholic church. One of the absolute must-see here in Görlitz are the whisper arches. These. There are so few of them left, but those that are left really sets an impression. You can almost imagine that medieval people have walked up here, spreading the rumors, well, whispering to each other. And it's actually a great construction, and it's a bit windy right here because there's a draft through it. So if it's a really hot summer's day, this is a good place to stand. But let's venture on and see what else Görlitz has to offer. So after a bit of city walking, it's time for some relaxation. So we will be heading on the tram, and the tram takes us all the way to the next spot we're going to see. So hang along and let's jump out there. And it is of course the beach we were headed for. Yeah, at the beach, and I will spare you the look of me in my swim trunks. So from here on in, it's private, but I can tell you this is a great sand beach. So if you're looking for a good beach while you are here in Görlitz or over on the Polish side in the city,
Zgorzelec.
Head over to the beach here. I will write the name of it down below, but there are several beaches in the area that are just as great. So head for them and take a day of relaxing and a little dip in the water. Alright, so I will not spare you the entirety, but at least it's only the top of me. One thing about bathing out in here is that you walk on stones, so have some bathing shoes with you, because it's a little hard to get over, but once you're over there, it is great fresh water to bathe in. And it's quite rejuvenating. So, quick recommendation, do it. Take a quick dip out here while you are in the city of Görlitz or in the vicinity. Even if you're just driving through, there are great parking spots with a little fee on them, but we took public transport out here and the bus goes right to the beach. So after a refreshing dip, it's time to head back to the city, but unfortunately my girlfriend had to change her clothes from a bathing suit until normal clothes, so the bus managed to drive off from us, so we'll be waiting for the next one. So while we wait for our bus to arrive so we can get back to Görlitz, why not take a little beer? Enjoy the view and the noise of the kids playing. So cheers from Görlitz. One of the saddest things about walking here is the building right behind me. It is abandoned buildings. It is not well maintained buildings. It is a site that I could be without, and there are plenty of those buildings down here in Görlitz. So I will actually encourage you to travel down here and give this city some life. The more people who visit it, the more money they will have for restoring that kind of things. And well, this is actually quite a lively town, and it has a great shopping street, a great main street, and there's life in this town. And there's actually a lot to see. Just looking at the buildings, there's plenty to see. So while I was down here, I posted a short about something with alcohol on the Polish side and on the German side. There's a bit of a difference. But there's also the difference in what you look at. When you walk over on the Polish side, you look over into Germany, and you look over into mostly well-maintained buildings. There are one or two or three that really are abandoned. But when you look from here, you look almost over on beautiful buildings. Except there. There's some concrete hill over there, and it is not making the sight any more beautiful. But you have to take it along when you are down here. But nevertheless, you can still enjoy a great view, because the view is actually great. Better if they removed the concrete hill over there, but well, it's still worth looking at. So we decided to have a bit of traditional food at the restaurant right in there, the Cafe Magnolia, and it was traditional Polish cuisine. It was, well, we got a meat roulette, a roll of meat with some dumplings. It was, I believe it was a potato dumpling. It was made from a potato dough. It was actually quite good, and it tasted splendid. So I will say, if you're ever in Görlitz, or this Polish town with a name I cannot pronounce, then do yourself a favor and eat a traditional Polish meal at the Cafe Magnolia. By the way, I'm not sponsored by them. I just, well, I like the food. It was great. It was a perfect meat, and it was all the time perfect. Interrupted by a death machine on 2 wheels, or an electric scooter. But nevertheless, the Cafe Magnolia, I can warmly recommend it if you're ever on these parts. Time for some fun games and some beer before we head off to Frankfurt tomorrow. And it's not that Frankfurt, but if you want to know more about that, check out this video right here. By the way, the bag I bought, my backpack, it holds up. It passed the Gypsy Guide test, so it functions very well. It still holds, so let's see if it can hold for some more time. I'll give you an update on that if you keep on following me.